Hey everyone, welcome to Dark Mystery Podcast, where we get a little venom for the soul. I am your host, Vetty, and today I have two guests. I have my reoccurring guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, reoccurring guest.
Hi, I'm Celeste. I'm Vetty's daughter.
This is Celeste. This is my eldest. And then I have a new guest who finally was able to make it, even though it took forever because he kept ditching us. Yeah, you. Looking at you. So why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Jay. I'm her nephew, the favorite nephew. My little brother knows I'm the favorite nephew.
Well, don't forget you have Peanut and Jaden too, and little Nelson. You got to compete with Salió.
Was I the first nephew? No, Nelson.
Little Nelson's the eldest, but remember he's Nelson's son.
Yeah.
Nelson's my brother-in-law, but that's still my nephew.
So he's the first nephew.
Technically, yes.
Yeah, first nephew, but not the oldest.
But not the eldest, yes.
Yeah.
So I have my nephews and stuff and my nieces. But yeah, so today I have Celeste, my eldest, and then Jay, my nephew. So thank you guys. Welcome to Dark Mystery Podcast. Welcome again, Celestina.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed the last episode with my sister Denise. If not, go check it out. We talk about Pamela Smart, not so smart, if you will. So yeah, go check that one out. So today we're going to do something different. Today we're going to kind of just freestyle it. We have no script. We have nothing in front of us. I mean, work-wise, if you will. Yeah. So we decided today we're going to share some of our scary stories, our personal or, like paranormal or just scary stories, something that I have been wanting to do for a while. We all kind of wanted to do. But before we get to that, I don't know if you guys heard. I know, Celeste, you heard because I literally just told you about 30 minutes ago. But Jay, did you hear about, so today is January 10th, Tuesday, January 10th. We just had that big storm hit us in California, mainly the coast. Did you know or did you hear about the past 24 hours there was a tornado threat?
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard nothing about that. I've been asleep for about the last 18 hours, so.
Oh, okay. Well, must be nice. Yeah. Must be nice. Yeah, no. So we had a tornado threat here in California where we're at. We're in the high desert. Well, at least me and Celeste are. Jay, he's down the hill, but we had that tornado warning or tornado threat and stuff, but we're okay and everything. It is a little creepy because, here in California, we don't get things like that, but we're okay. Everyone's okay. We're all fine. We're going to go ahead and start off with you, Jay. So why don't you tell us about a little scary story or something that you want to share with us?
So there's a lot. I have a lot of paranormal stories and stuff. I think my personal favorite was probably, when I was little, where we lived, there's a lot of empty fields. So when I was little, me and my cousins went to this one that's not too far from my grandparents' house. And we were just we look around and we were playing, and then it was morning, it was daylight out. So we found a chicken with its head cut off. It was just like the body, and it was just there. So us being us, we kind of poked it with a stick, not really sure what to do. So we just left them by a tree, and there's a barn on that property. We never see anybody go in or out, but there's always something going on in the barn. It's like a barn house. So I don't know if there's animals in there. I don't know if there's people but we don't see anybody ever go in and out. So one time we go over there and there's this man standing in the field, and we kind of got a little spooked, so we try to leave, and I swear we'd walk backwards and he'd get closer. There was always the same distance, but he never walked. We would just back up, turn around and we'd start walking, and he would just he never walked. And so, yeah, after that, we never went back.
How old were you when this happened?
11 or 12.
Oh, my God. So, as you, turned, when you would turn back, he was still the same amount of distance away no matter how far you walked?
That's what it felt like. We couldn't get no further from him than that.
That's crazy.
And so, eventually, we just kept walking and didn't turn back. And then he, disappeared and we left.
That's crazy. So did you ever see him again, or?
No, We stopped going back. We stopped doing all that.
The one thing I will say, you have to be very careful in the land that you live in or that you walk into, because you really don't know what's in that land. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you don't know if it's cursed. You don't know what happened on that land. And I'm very big on on the paranormal, the supernatural and stuff. So I do believe like if something happens somewhere, like if someone dies somewhere, something manifests or something evil happened, like it lingers there, it manifests. You have to be very careful on that. So I'm sure you saw and did he look human or did he look like odd?
He looked like a really old timey human.
Tiny human?
Tiny,
Like that tiny?
1920s. No, like
Oh, old time,
Oh.
like back in the early 1900s.
Oh.
yeah, kind of like that.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Ugh. So did you tell your parents about that or?
No, because we weren't entirely sure we were supposed to be there in the first place.
Oh.
So
you're like, yeah, we'll just keep this one on the down low. So
yeah, well, we didn't want to cause no trouble or nothing, so it was just better to stay quiet.
I'm assuming that wasn't your property, right?
No. Well, we assumed it to be abandoned because we never saw anybody go in and out. There was never any cars there or anything. It was just the barn house.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, you have to be very careful, like what you walk into and everything, because you just don't know what's lingering on there. And even if you don't believe in the supernatural things like that, I mean, you still got to be respectful. At least that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? So, but thank you, Jay, for sharing that. So, Celeste, what you got for us?
So I got a story from our old haunted house that I believe was in San Bernardino, was it?
Yeah, we lived in San Bernardino for a good minute.
So the house itself, I believe, is haunted, but the story I have is what happened outside of the house. So back in the old house, we have the front yard, the backyard, and in the backyard, there's like a little empty space where you put all our stuff at, including like a big table, and there's like a door that leads to my grandpa's room. Remember, Mom?
Yeah, by the window of the living room, right?
So, right there's a table, and me and my cousins were to go down the pathway to go to the front yard to like play hide and seek. So I decided to take off my sweater, and I remember I folded it nicely. I remember I zipped it up, folded it to like a little square, and I put it in the middle of the table. So we went down the pathway and we're playing hide and seek. It was my turn, and one rule we had was not to go back down the pathway. I started looking around for my cousins, and I couldn't find them. I thought, oh, they're cheating, because I heard noises down the pathway. So I went down the pathway, and I see someone wearing my sweater from behind. And the person kind of had a cricket T-pose in a way, kind of like this. And they kind of like started walking around, and I was like, hey, who's wearing my sweater? All of a sudden, it turns around and no one's wearing it. Like I realized there's no pants, nothing, just it's emptiness. My sweater floating, and it was like kind of walking like this, and it turned. So I screamed, turned around, ran, and then my cousins popped out of nowhere. So my oldest cousin, I was talking to her about it, and then she went ahead and started walking down pathways. Meanwhile, I was behind, explaining it to my other cousin, and she was comforting me. And when we got there, my older cousin went to my sweater, and my sweater was laid out like a T-pose on the floor. And she told me, like, hey, like, your sweater fell, and she picked it up. And she tried to hand it to me. I'm like, no, I don't want to touch it. Because I'm like, it shouldn't be on the floor. It should have been on the table, floated. I remember I got so scared, I took the sweater, went up to you, I was like, hey, can we, like, burn it or something?
I remember that. You had asked me to get rid of it. I didn't burn it, but I do remember we ended up getting rid of it because you were so scared of that sweater. Yeah, that house itself was very, very haunted. It was old. I mean, it's in San Bernardino, not right at the heart of San Bernardino, but like all that area, like San Bernardino, Colton, all that area, it's super old. It's really old. I mean, the cemetery, Hermosa Cemetery, you have Morgan Erb buried there. He's Wyatt Erb's brother, which I am going to do an episode on that hopefully real soon. But he died sometime in the 1800s, like late 1800s. And it's just with all that history and stuff that goes on there, you never know. Like I said, now it was supposed that that house used to be, or that those homes, they were like supposedly it was a nursing home back in the day, like in the early 1900s. I don't know if that's true, but it supposedly was. And so, if it's a nursing home, obviously people must have died there and stuff, but there were so many like creepy things happen there. But I also do feel that like our family is like prone to that,
Yeah.
because we've all experienced something, all of us, so I do feel like we are prone to that. What are you doing?
He's making a story.
Oh, he's making a story?
But screw that goes for making me give her my sweater. It was my favorite sweater.
It was you that wanted to get rid of the sweater. So.
I know, like I was mad at the girls for making me scared and making me want to give it a sweater.
Did you draw a mustache on his face too, or what?
It had no face.
So you didn't draw a mustache on
Can I give the backstory to that joke real quick?
Sure.
So when we were younger, I was staying the night at their house, and Celeste used to have a really big fear of clowns. So I put up a picture of a clown, and I just like kind of chased her with it, being a little jerk, And so the next morning, I woke up with a half-drawn mustache on my face. Because I sleep on my side. I sleep like this, so she can only get this part of my face.
Luckily for you, I was about to do more, but then Grandpa stopped me.
Well, now you have one, so you don't have to worry about drawing it. Just start plucking it. Ever messes with you, just grab the tweezer and start plucking it. One hair at a time.
Joke's on you. I shave it every week.
Right? Well, joke's on you. It comes out thicker, so she's like... But no, if I'm sure you noticed, she actually has a little clown trapped there, a little Pennywise, trapped there. She caught it. It was mingling around the bedroom, and she's like, "I'm just kidding." No, that's actually a crocheted one that I had made. Actually, it was Jay who inspired me, encouraged me to do that, because it was, I believe, the first. It was chapter 1, right, when it came out.
One of the new hit movies.
Yeah.
We see it.
Yeah, because as you guys know, if you guys heard the last episode, I do crochet. I make beanies, I make scarves, I make dolls especially. So I wanted to make something a little different. Obviously, it's not different, but I wanted to do something for It, the movie It, because I love that book. I read the book. I saw the original movie or miniseries. And so Jay was actually the one who was like, hey, why don't you make a little one? Because I make dolls about yay big,
And then the idea...
Go ahead.
We took it from a company with a mouse. Yeah, if you guys take the hint, and they have a movie where they fight in the galaxy, and there's a little tree character, and we're not giving no free promos around here. So they sell him, and you can put him on your shoulder with a magnet that goes underneath your shirt or your hoodie, and magnetically sticks to him, so he can sit on your shoulder. So I just mentioned the idea of what if you did that with the Pennywises, and she made it come true. So we went to go see the It movies. We all walked in with little It's on our shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Our little Pennywises, I'm sorry.
Look. Hold on. Hold on.
Should I get mine out too?
Get it, yeah.
Right,
show it off, girl.
This
is all freestyle, you guys, but we're doing it a little different.
So this one is a little different. But you guys get my name, Jay. It comes from Jason. And I'm a partial junior. I share the same name as my dad. So here we have Jason. Jason
with
Voorhees.
Pennywise balloon. So that I actually made for his dad. I believe it was your dad or your mom who ordered it.
I think it was my mom.
It was okay. Then it was your mom. Yeah, his mom had ordered it, and I believe it was you who gave me the idea with the balloon as the head of Pennywise. So and then she got her little Pennywise going on.
I thought it was a shirt that I get the idea from.
Something.
I
think it's from the movie, because you know how It says, or Pennywise says, "You'll float too." Jason didn't float; he sank.
Because I
That's so
remember,
messed up.
That's the joke behind it. So that's why when he was like, "Yo, Flood 2," Jason was like, "Nah,
Liar.
Jit, we don't do that." And so he cut that.
Liar.
Yeah.
but
So that's.
I remember, I think he came on a shirt or like a picture of Jason, like he was walking around, and he had like a balloon, and it was Pennywise head. I remember
something-
Dan went up to you like, "Hey."
You
It-
probably, yeah, you probably gave me the idea.
It was off a shirt, and then it was because of that like the movie reference and stuff too.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so she's showing off her little Pennywise and stuff. But the first one I made, the actual very first one, well, not the very first doll, but the first Pennywise that I made had to be the original because you guys know me. I'm old school. I'm a Zennial. So I had to make the first one. So.
That was
Yeah. So yeah, I had to make this one. Honestly, I would say this is one of my favorite ones that I made. These were definitely the most popular ones. I will say that. Thanks to J2. So, is this what we're doing? This is what we're doing? What's up? Old school? Old school. But I will say this. I did not make this one personally, but I want to show off my new little plushie because I love to collect plushies.
Oh, I know which one.
Oh my God.
The Bob Ross.
Yeah. Bob Ross. I had to, I just absolutely had to. But let's get back on track because our listeners are probably like, what the hell, man? It's supposed to be scary stuff. So we apologize.
Ooh.
Sorry. This is scary. It's so cute. It's scary, you guys. It's adorable. So, but yeah, so thank you, Celeste, for sharing that. So my scary story. So when I was younger, me and my family, we lived in Baldwin Park. And my little brother, he's 4 years younger than me. And we were outside playing one day. It was like, towards the evening. In Baldwin Park, when you go check your gas, like for the house, they have like the little cement, little block area. Here, we have like this green thing, like box
To the
thing.
box.
Yeah, but over there, I mean, I'm sure they changed it now, but this is back in the 90s. So we were playing outside and my little brother, he asked me what that was. And me, I didn't know what the hell it was. I wanted to be the stupid older sister and I wanted to mess with my little brother. I told him like, oh, that's where they put monsters. Like if you say monsters there 3 times, a monster's going to come and eat you, mind you, this was the 90s. And at that time we had the whole chupacabra, frenzy going on. And growing up Hispanic, you had, duendes, la llorona, all that stuff, la bruja, like all of that stuff. So yeah, we grew up paranoid. We grew up very, very paranoid because we have all those scary stories. So for us, it's a lot more believable. So I started like going like monster, and he got scared and he ran off. Oh, I don't know if he got scared, but he ran off before I even finished. Right. And I was like, monster, and just to mess with him. So that night, at that time, I shared rooms with my sister, and we actually had like a big, like it was a full size or queen size bed that we had shared. So I remember waking up in the middle of the night because I had to use the restroom really bad. Like I really, really had to go. And I opened my eyes and there was a woman standing right in front of our bed. Now, we did have like a street light and stuff. So there was light coming in, but my first thought was, oh, my eyes are playing tricks on me. So I was just like, let me adjust to the light, to the darkness and stuff. So I'm waiting for the light to adjust for my eyes to adjust, but it just wasn't doing it. So, and she was just standing there. She was wearing like a wedding dress and she had no face. It was all black and it was like all white. She was covered completely. And she had like, I don't know what it's called, but how like the nuns have that, like they're covered, so she was like all covered here. She was all covered and she had her arms kind of like that. And the sleeves went over and they kind of just draped down. And then her veil was huge. Like it was just huge. And it almost looked like, when you take a picture and you expand it and it looks like off, that's kind of how she looked. Like she was just so big. And I kept thinking to myself, I'm not seeing this. I am so not seeing this. I was really scared. Like I'm surprised I did not pee on myself because I had to pee badly and I'm just shocked that I did it. And I kept staring at her and I kept like rubbing my eyes and thinking I'm crazy. It's my imagination. I even tried going back to sleep, but every time I would look up, she was there. So I was so scared that if I got up to use the restroom and went over my sister, she was going to follow me, right? So I was like, you know what? Forget it. So I fell asleep. Finally, like it took me forever. I fell asleep. And when I woke up the next morning, she was gone. But one thing I did notice that, I went to the restroom first and I came back to my room and then I looked underneath the bed and I had a white sweater underneath my bed. Now, the reason why I bring that up, my mom, she likes things to be put away a certain way. Like at that time, we could not have anything underneath our bed. Like that was a huge no. So when I looked under the bed and I saw a white sweater of mine, I freaked out because I know for a fact that's put away because I'm not allowed to put it underneath. So, I mean, it could be a number of things. I will be honest. It could be anything, but it did scare me. I just remember like thinking like, wow, that's my karma for messing with my little brother, So that was my first thought, and I never did it again after that. I was like, no. I really was. I think I apologized to him too. And even if I was to talk to him about that, he'd just look at me like, I don't remember you ever messing with me like that, but it's like, oh yeah, I did, but that was my scary story. So what do you guys think of those scary stories thus far? The water was good.
Oh, it was good. The elephant in the room looked nice.
Hey man, you calling me an elephant?
Not you. As insulted to the elephant.
Oh. So, to my listeners, how should Jay respond? Comment down below. We got some shots thrown here.
I'm
like,
done.
oh, they want to fight.
I'm tired.
No, they come back. No.
Time's out. Hey, where'd y'all go? Hey, me dejaron. Hi, papas. Everyone ditched me.
What
Everyone ditched. We're telling scary stories. This is my son, John Gabriel, also known as Johnny Boy.
What?
Can I hear one scary story? No. Oh, bad.
I am back.
I looked down and you guys were both gone. I'm like, hey, like, where'd you go? All right, so let's continue on. Take 4. So yeah, comment down below. How should Jay respond? Because that's a little.
Well, at least, I didn't almost run over a squirrel.
Booyah!
If I
don't
did
know what
it.
he's talking about. When did she almost run over a squirrel?
No,
So,
she didn't. When Junior took us driving, there was a squirrel like a solid 10 feet ahead of us, maybe, and she slammed the brakes when the squirrel was 10 feet away. And I wasn't wearing my seatbelt because we were doing like 12 miles
Why
an hour.
wouldn't you?
Right? And I was in the back seat kicking it, and then she slams this brake, like, boom, right into the seat in front of me. And Junior was like, "What happened?" She was like, "The squirrel." I was like,
Squirrel!
Well, you kissed my seat.
Oh. Or maybe she just wanted you to, like, hit the deck.
there was no squirrel the whole time.
Probably
No,
wasn't. She probably wanted you to.
There's like a little chipmunk and then like cross the street.
It was a chipmunk.
The best part was
Go ahead.
okay. The best part was it was about to cross the street when I saw the brake. It just turned back around.
So it
I
wasn't
didn't
even the street.
cross. Yeah.
No.
You are definitely my child. Wow. All right, so we're gonna skip Jay for now because he's having a brain fart, so he needs to remember his story. So we're gonna go to Celeste. So Celeste, give us your second scary story.
All right. So this happened in Jay's old house when we were kids.
Which one?
Okay, it was a 2-story house. I remember it had a big white kitchen. I remember the counter was like black and white, marbled.
Mm-hmm.
And we had
That
like a
must have
big
been
backyard.
Oh,
That must
it
have
was-
been here.
It was when we were renting Adan's house.
Mm-hmm.
I think
It
so.
was actually brown. The kitchen wasn't white. It was brown.
No, it was white. It was all white.
It doesn't matter. That's where it happened.
Yeah, I think you think of the wrong house because I remember a true story. But anyways, so I remember one time Jay's mom like she was in the kitchen. I think she was making like lemonade. I remember she had like a squeezer and she like just had some lemons. And I remember like me and Jay were about to walk out or to get to the backyard, you had to go to the kitchen. So we started walking and I see like this little like tiny human like run from like one side of the kitchen to the counter where J Mom was. So I remember I freaked out and I ran trying to chase it. And I remember I looked and J Mom was like, "What are you looking for?" And I'm like, "Oh, like there's a tiny human here." And they're like, "No, they're not." Like I saw it and I'm like, "Jay, did you see it?" He goes, "No, I didn't." And J Mom like, "Did it like touch you or anything?" He goes, "No, like there's nothing. Like I think you're overthinking." So like I remember
How
we
how how small was it?
like Pennywise small. It was like also skinny too.
Like this?
Kind of, maybe a bit taller.
Like this? You know what
Yeah,
that could be?
maybe. Yeah.
That could have
Duende.
been a duende.
Yeah.
For those of you who do not know what a duende is, it's pretty much like a troll or a goblin type thing. It's more of an Latino like folklore. Obviously, they're around the whole world, but in Mexico we call them duendes. Well, I'm assuming in other Spanish-speaking countries we also call them duendes, or they call
It's
them duendes.
like a gnome.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. It's like a gnome, and they're known to be, tiny, skinny things. There's actually a couple of TikToks and YouTube videos and things like that. There's videos of duendes caught online. They come like in different shapes and sizes. Now, whether they're real or not, I don't know, but I do believe. I mean, like I said, I believe in that stuff. I believe in the supernatural and things like that, but that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
It was probably a duende that you saw. Was like, oh, so hopefully, a lot of people say you speak them into life. So it's like, no, that's not what we're trying to do. We're just telling stories and stuff. So, but did you ever find it?
No, I remember anytime I go to Jay's house, I'm trying to look for it, but nothing.
A two-story.
Why would you run towards it though?
Because
Curiosity.
Okay, I was trying to catch it. I'm like, oh, like what is that?
Well, you caught it. It's behind you. It's on the little.
No, that's something else.
I know, just kidding. So, Jay, did you remember your story?
Yeah.
All right, so Jay, go ahead and tell us your second scary story.
So I was actually out there in the high desert. I was staying the night at a friend's house because I was helping him move. So that night, I was helping him pack. We were loading the truck, and then we were like 12. He was 13. He's older than me. Just us being us. We went outside at like 3 in the morning to go play basketball because we had a bunch of energy from whatever. So we were out there playing basketball, and we kept hearing like whistling. But like we like go check, and like there was nothing there, and it just kept happening and happening, and it sounded like it would come from different corners, and it's just like we never caught where it came from.
There was something I heard. I gotta Google it. Something about whistling. It was out like it didn't come from a specific area. It was just like you heard whistling in general.
Yeah. Well, it sounded like it would move, like it goes from corner to corner.
But it was like at a distance, like it wasn't coming from inside the house. Like you just didn't know where it was coming from, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it at night?
Yeah, I'd almost rather not know.
Okay. I don't know. So I tried Googling it. There was just a bunch of random things like hearing stuff or whatever. So, but I do remember once hearing something about if you could hear someone or something whistling, it meant something. I don't know if it was like a skinwalker type thing or what, but I do remember hearing something about that. My listeners, if any of you guys know any like urban legends or myths about things like that, please comment down below about that. I am very curious, because I'm not going to sit here and Google it and spend this whole time Googling it. But yeah, I remember hearing something about that. That's creepy, especially being here in the high desert. I mean, it could have been somebody just walking, especially now we get a lot of people walking in the middle of the desert, but that's still creepy. Like, I think either way how you see it, it's creepy because in one hand, if it's a supernatural being, that's just already crazy or scary as it is. And the other, if it's a person walking in the middle of the desert, it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, why are you walking in the desert?
Whistling at 3 a.m. at night.
Exactly. Like that's creepy. But oh God, I wish I could remember what story I heard about that. If you hear whistling at night, it was something I forgot. I'll definitely look it up and then I'll probably bring it up in the next podcast episode. But I do remember hearing something about that. But I'm glad that you're okay. Nothing bad happened.
The desert is creepy, and then
it is.
There too are so like, dude, there's just something off about the high desert because like, you remember what happened in Eagle Ranch?
Which time?
A couple years ago when bro was going around playing like he was Jason the Killer like with the.
Oh, yeah. Thankfully, that guy, he didn't kill anybody. He just attacked like 3 women, I think it was. But he would go, like he would follow them in the car. And when they would get out of the car, he would like stop in front and then get out and attack them with like a machete almost type thing.
It was a machete.
Was it a machete?
Yeah, because when they caught him, that's what they caught him with.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't know if it's the same dude, but I'm assuming it's the same guy because after this incident happened, things like the whole, following and attacking, that all stopped. So there was these 3 people that went into a Food for Less nearby, and they went, they put their stuff in the grocery basket or the cart, and they just walked out. And as they were walking out, security guard was stopping them because they were stealing, and the guy had a machete, and they got caught. And that's when those attacks stopped happening, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm just like, well, if that is the case, then you're a freaking idiot. Like, you're an idiot, like why, if you're committing these crimes, why go to a public place to commit a crime, especially when you have the weapon, if it's the same person? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost positive it is. And it's funny that I had a coworker of mine. She was telling me, because she's lived up here in the high desert for a long, long time. And she was telling me about, there was a couple murders up here, right? More than a, huh?
There's been a couple murders.
It's been more than a couple. Yeah, recently, there's been a couple. But throughout the history, there's been there's been a lot. And she was like, yeah, one was like a neighbor of hers. Some other one was so it was just someone that she knew up here. It was just crazy. So I Googled it, and just in one specific city up here or town up here, I won't mention the town, there was a lot of events that had happened. And then you have George Air Force Base, the abandoned buildings, and there's stuff that goes on there too. And this is a military base. It's abandoned. And we have the Edwards Air Force Base, which I think part of it is also abandoned. From my understanding, it is, but the other half, it's still active and stuff. But we have the George Air Force Base, and that's abandoned. And if you go back to my Montauk Project one, we talk about how we don't know what's really going on in there, because it's not just like bad things are happening. There's a lot of paranormal things going on too. And that's the thing that creeps me out, especially about being in the desert. And then in a future, probably the next episode, we will be talking about an event that happened down the hill somewhere. I won't give too much spoilers, but you guys might want to tune this one. It might be a 2-parter actually, because there's so much information. But it used to be all desert, like that town, all desert. And now you go and it's just, like industrial, well, not industrial, but like there's homes, there's still ranches and stuff over there, but it's not as deserty. Like here, it's still desert. So we don't know what is really going on up here because we're not there. So that's why I tell everyone, please be very careful when you walk or when you go somewhere. Just be very, very careful. That's just scary.
The Victorville Galleria, what happened there just, like 3 years ago maybe?
I think it was a little over 3
how
years ago.
they did that there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it is so crazy, and we don't even have the craziest stories up here in the high desert, to be honest with you. But at least that we know of, we have one that we're very famous for, which that would be an upcoming episode. But yeah, that one, that one's really sad because it involved the whole family, and unfortunately, that's how we got our name on the map. Well, that's one way how we got our name on the map and stuff. But yeah, we'll discuss that in a future episode. So I'll give you guys my second scary story. So this is in the same house that I lived in when I was a kid, and the house that we lived in the back, it was a detached garage, and behind the garage was like a studio home. So there was a bathroom and like a small little kitchen and just a whole area. So my parents, they at first they had set that area up as a little play area for us. So that's where all of our toys were at. And we had a lot of toys. I will not deny that. My parents bought us a lot of toys. So me and my siblings, we would go back there and we would play there all the time. So one day it was me and my little brother, and he remembers this because I had brought this up about, I think it was last year I brought it up, and I think he said he remembered it. But we were playing and we were there the whole day, and we were just playing and playing. And there's even little cabinets in there with, the doors and whatnot. And my mom, she used to put like old bed sheets there and, just blankets and stuff there. So us being kids, we would take them out because you were able to like kind of like go in the cabinet and just go around because there was like 4 shelves, but you could still go through them. It's weird to describe, but we were able to do that. So it was getting late. And I remember telling my brother, like, hey, we should go inside. It's getting late. We're going to have dinner soon. And he's like, okay. So I'm like, why don't we just grab some toys? So we were grabbing our toys and everything. And I remember we turned to head outside and we're walking out. And then I forgot something. So I go, oh, hold on. I forgot something. And I'm sure it was in Spanish, but I remember I turned around. I kid you not. There's a figure standing like a foot away from me, like not that far. And I didn't know what it looked like because it had one of the bed sheets over it. Like it was like if a kid had put a bed sheet over them, and they were smaller than me. They were like maybe my brother's height. And it was just standing there. So as soon as I turned around, I saw it and I got shocked, and it looked like it got scared of me because it went like that, and then it ran to the cabinets. Now the cabinets were all open, and you could easily just walk in there and kind of like close it. They were like little tiny closets, if you will. So a kid could fit in there and kind of stand perfectly, I don't want to say it ran. It like fastly glided really quickly to the cabinets, and it just went like it went in, and then the door closed on its own. Right. And so me and my brother, we looked at each other, and like, I didn't know what to think of it, and he didn't know what to think of it. So I remember being really scared, and I walked to it and I opened the cabinet door, and the sheet was on the floor. There was nothing there. And I remember picking up the sheet and thinking, oh my God, like, what just happened? I was in shock because I did not expect that. Whatever it was behind me the entire time. And when I turned around really quickly to get my toy, like it got startled. Like it literally went like, and then it ran. It didn't gasp, but like it made that motion and it ran. And so inside I was like, oh my God. I was really scared, and I didn't want to scare my brother. So I was like, okay, let's go back, So we walked out, but this kind of also added to the creepiness to it. So in the studio, we had to walk a good 20, 30 feet to get to the entrance of the house from the backyard, because we had a huge backyard. And we had like a light, and it was like a white light. That's the best way I could describe it. A big, white light to illuminate the backyard. So it almost gave it like a full moon, appearance type thing. So there was minimal light, but enough. And that just kind of gave it really creepy vibes. So I just remember closing the door and telling him, just go, just keep walking. And we kind of like, paced ourselves in we were pacing really fast because we were scared. But we were also like, because I didn't want to freak my parents out or anything. And I can't remember for the life of me if I told them the story. But when I brought it up to my brother, I asked him, he's like, yeah, I remember that. So I was like, okay, I just want to make sure that it wasn't a figment of my imagination. But yeah, that was my scary story. I don't know what it is. I just feel like our homes or our families, I should say, we're like prone to it. You know what I mean? Like we're sensitive to the supernatural, because I noticed like me and my siblings, we've experienced things like that. I know my mom and her siblings experienced things like that. And I'm sure my dad and all his siblings and stuff, they experienced things like that. You guys experienced it too. So I just think we're just like sensitive to it or something. I'm not saying we're psychics or anything. I'm not saying that, but there are people who are sensitive to things like that. So and the fact that we literally all experience that at random, you know what I mean? So it's crazy. But what did you guys think of that?
Very creepy. I wonder if the ghost of the kid trying to hang out with you or something
Could have
like
been.
that.
No, I know who it was.
Toy?
Right. That's mine. Don't touch it. So, but yeah, so that is our scary stories that we decided to share. Do any of you guys have any thoughts?
Scary stories? No. I do want to bring up more scary stuff. We were supposed to do an episode on it, but I think it just kind of fell through. But it was Universal Studio Horror Nights, because obviously, if you're watching the podcast, you share the same interest we have with being scared in a good way,
Mm-hmm.
So it's so weird saying last year, but 2022 Halloween, we went to Halloween Horror Nights.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Very grateful for my tia taking me. It was an amazing experience. And
you're welcome.
For sure, it is something I do again. It was a really fun night. I know it was super dope. And then just everything about it. And La Llorona, honestly, was the only one that scared me.
Yeah, that one really scared the crap out of me. Honestly, Celeste, I really think you should go with us, but I know that's not really your cup of tea.
Yeah, I barely handled I think it was like the museum we went to. It had like a museum and like a swamp meet full of scary stuff. What it's called?
We'll pour you a little.
Creep It Real.
Yeah.
Yes, the Knicks. They had invited us to this event in Orange County. It's called Creep It Real. They don't do it every single month, but they for sure did it in October, November, and December. So we had gone to the Creep It Real. It's in the Heritage Museum in Orange County, in Santa Ana. We had gone there for Halloween, and the theme at the time was Alfred Hitchcock, which I just absolutely loved. And it's just basically like a convention, and they have people who, they have characters in there, which I want to give out a little shout out. He was actually a former student of ours. He just graduated last year. So congratulations on that. I will not share his actual name, but he is now a fright character. I don't even know if that's what they're called. And he has this little, like, what do you call it? Those,
the skates, like the knee pads and all that.
Yeah, he's learning to do that. He's actually learning to do that. But no, his like alter ego, if you will, it's called Candy Randy. And it's crazy because me and Adolfo, we had went to the Christmas one, the Creep It Real Christmas one, and with the Knicks. And it was just, that one was really, really cool. I really, really loved it. And it turns out that he was there. So I didn't know he was there. And he was like, yeah, I didn't see you guys there. And I'm like, yeah, we were there. And he was a character. So I'm like, oh, okay. So now he's training and he's doing those things. So I told him, like, oh my God, you have to do Universals. You have to do Knott's Berry Farm. You have to do, it's like, oh my God. So I'm really excited. Very proud of you, by the way. You know who you are. So I'm going to tag his character down below so that way you guys can check him out and everything. So a very, very awesome job. Like, honestly, I would do that, but I couldn't slide. If I slide, I'm not getting back up. I'll be like, help me up.
I'm going to need those $5 back.
That's right. He did lend you $5. He did. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah, so Universal Studios, I really enjoyed it. I will say that I like Knott's Berry Farm. I've done Knott's Berry Farm before. I feel that Knott's Berry Farm is a lot more creepier. You know what I mean? Like, because it's darker and it's more, it's older. Well, not older, but you know what I mean? Like, it has
like that old timey feel. I think Knott's is low key creepy even when it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, it's old. It's based off Calico, which is a ghost town right here in the high desert.
Dude, Calico is scary. That I would not want to be there at night.
Ooh. Do you know they do the same thing, the whole haunted thing there for Halloween
Really?
at Calico? They do.
How much is it to get into Calico? I haven't been there.
Well, we'll go just to visit during the day, but for Halloween we got to go, and I heard it's really, really creepy. If you guys want to check out any videos of like Universals and stuff, check out my TikTok page at Vetty03. And I do have some of the maze there, or my Instagram. That one is more private, but just go ahead and, I'm going to make it public. And I have the mazes and stuff there, but I would love to check out the Calico one. And that's kind of a goal that me and Nicole, my cousin, we want to do is we kind of want to go to places and blog about it, so, but I do highly recommend you guys, if you love to be scared or if you just want to try it, go to Universal Studios. If you want something a little more extreme, I say go to Knott's, because I feel Knott's is a lot more scarier and the mazes are scarier. La Llorona one, that one got me. Like, they all got me because I'm a scaredy cat. But La Llorona, this fool over here, this so one.
I don't get scared really easy. Unless it's like a jump scare. It's yeah, guilty red-handed. Unless it's a really quick jump scare, I don't get scared very easy. And La Llorona, the way it jumped out, it scared me so much, I threw her at the character.
Literally. Like, it's on video too. He's like, go, you got this. And I'm like, no. He's pushing me towards it. And I'm like,
keep going.
He's like, how are you going to get home, fool? I have the keys.
Man, I was hiding behind your backpack.
He literally was. The hilarious part about that is that, they only let so many people in at a time, right? So it was us, me and Jay, and then it was my nephew, Josiah, my niece, Acacia, and then my aunt. And the rest of the party, the Nicks and my sister, they had went home. So we decided, let's do La Llorona, and then we'll call it a day, right? So we went in together, and there was a couple of people behind us, right? Like a couple ladies. And we were going, and I didn't think I was going to be that scared, because we did the weekend one. We did some other ones. The other ones were good, but La Llorona, even my aunt was like, oh my God.
Honestly, I think what scared me so much too is growing up being told the story and being like forced to fear it in a way. Like seeing that like in person, I was like, oh, get me out of this. Like, just, I want it out.
Yeah, because in the Latino community, we have our urban legends and stuff. And La Llorona is probably the most popular. Yes. And then, that's actually, maybe we could do that. You know what we should do?
We're going to take GoPros.
You take what?
Next time we go, I'm going to take my GoPro and I'm going to put it on
GoPros. I thought you said something else like Bell Pros. And I'm like, what is that? Sorry.
No.
I thought you said something else. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's actually good. I like that. The GoPro. Do they even allow that? I know they allow you to film, because obviously film.
It's not flash photography, so I think you should be straight.
That's true.
As long as it's not like it's not like one of those ones that you like hold out, I think you should be good. Like, I would just strap mine to my chest like I do when I go riding.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, you capture everything.
That's true. That is true.
Like if we would have been wearing one, I would have caught when we met our drunk cousin.
Oh my God, yes. We were in line to go to like a hotel maze. It was like a vintage type. And we were in line. We were right there, like right about to enter the building. So while we're there, this drunk guy comes up to us, right? Or he comes up to me and he's like, hey, listen, if I pay you, can you let us cut? And I'm like, well, who's us? And he's like, me and my girl, like, I'm trying to impress her. And you could tell this guy was drunk. He wasn't like wasted drunk, but he has been drinking, right? And so I'm like, oh, yeah, come on in. And he was like, yeah, just say I'm like your cousin. You were waiting in line or something for us. And like you're holding a spot. And I'm like, yeah, I got you. So I'm like, yeah, come on in. We start talking and everything. And then Nicole, she was like, hey, what's going on? And I was like, oh, yeah, this is our cousin. Remember? No, she's like, oh, hey, where were you? But, you know, we all went with it. And it's hilarious. And then we ended up doing the maze. And the girlfriend, I guess she got scared or something. She ended up running. And he went after her, and I was like, go get her. And he went after her and stuff. And we just went, you know, we finished the maze. And on the way out, he comes out, he offered to buy us all a drink and everything. And I was like, oh no, we're good. You know, I don't mind doing little things like that, you know, for people. And it was a fun experience. And we have that story now to tell. So,
I think it was funny when me and him were holding each other.
Oh my God.
Dude, because you walked in first and I grabbed him and he held me and we're sitting there. I know at first, I didn't know what was going on. I thought he was asking you something else. And then, like, I just hear, Primo! And I'm like, huh?
Just go with it. Just go with it.
And I was like, oh, I guess we're going with it, you know? And then,
go with it. Yeah, I definitely recommend that. And have fun with it and everything, you guys. But check out my videos. I have some on Instagram and on Twitter. On TikTok. So check them out at Vetty03 and everything. And if that's just not up to your scale, if that's too scary for you, check out Boogie Boogie Bash. That was actually really cool. It's not scary at all. You get to hang out with the villains. You get lots of candy. We did not wait in line for anything. It was awesome. Absolutely loved it. Expensive, but awesome. And I loved it. It was a good experience. I do highly recommend it. So now that's it for today's episode. I do like this. We literally it's all freestyle. So there's going to be so many bloopers and everything. So I do apologize for that, but thank you for your patience. I actually kind of want to do this again. Maybe we could do like a mid-month, you know, scary story, or we can even talk about like urban legends. That'd be cool. So
it's me dance battling.
He dance battled or tried to dance battle a Death Eater. Check that out in my video. Check it out. The disrespect. Bye. So yes, Vetty03. I will try to tag it down below. Check out that video where he gets dissed and stuff. So, but that is all for today's episode. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you like what you heard, you know, leave a like and follow and listen. You can listen on YouTube and on Spotify. Check me out on Instagram, on Facebook, and on TikTok and Twitter, Dark Mystery Podcast, or Twitter is Venom for the Soul. If you have a scary story you want to share, comment down below or send me an email at darkmysterypodcast@gmail.com. Or if you just want to say hi or maybe be a guest in the next episode, drop me a comment or send me an email. Other than that, thank you guys so much for joining us. Don't forget to like and share. And if anything, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Cheers.